This massive Tesla update is going to change everything, for better or for worse. Tesla cars have gotten some amazing, huge software updates over the years, and some have been great, some have been, well, a little controversial, but this next big one is going to be huge for one big reason, or I guess, well, thousands of reasons actually, and that's all because of apps. A Tesla App Store is heavily rumored to be launching sometime this year, and when it comes, it is going to change everything. So here are 4 reasons why an app store on Teslas is going to be amazing and why it's going to transform Teslas forever, and also why it might be a bad thing and could lead to Tesla's downfall. Also, a huge thanks to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. They've got some amazing apparel that is beautiful, fits great. I love Into the AM stuff, but more on them and all that in a bit. Now, for those who have been around my channel for a while, you might know that I often get a lot of criticism for the thumbnails I decide to choose. But the reason I chose what I chose for this video, well, assuming I haven't changed it, is because this is Elon's promise of what is coming to all Tesla vehicles. He's talked himself about video conferencing in your Tesla. You'll be able to do this inside your Tesla. This is real. We've already seen the Zoom app for Tesla leaked before multiple times. This is supposed to be real sooner or later. This is the promise of what is coming to all Tesla vehicles. But I think the way in which this all becomes real, and something Tesla is heavily rumored to be working on, is through an app store, at least some kind of third-party way for developers to develop apps for your Tesla. Tesla is rumored to be launching an app store, and it's going to be a huge deal. And I know on the surface it might sound strange, but apps for your Tesla could totally transform your driving experience, your entertainment experience, and actually they do make a whole lot of sense. It could add this whole new layer of convenience and customization and allow you to do things inside of your Tesla that you never could do before and really never thought were possible. An app store would totally transform Teslas like the way they transformed the smartphones. The iPhone was an amazing phone, but it wasn't anything until the App Store came. Even web apps like Steve Jobs tried to proclaim were the future just didn't work. And web apps exist on the Tesla, but sort of the same reason they didn't work on the iPhone is the same reason they're not working here. It's because they're really bottlenecked. Apps need to have a tie-in to the deep system-level integration of the Tesla software. They need to have more control. And just like the App Store changed iOS and how it changed Android, an App Store is going to change Tesla for a couple of really big reasons. For starters, reason number 1, it's gonna fix all of Tesla's current and future shortcomings. Now look, I love Tesla software most of the time. It's one of the best infotainment systems, if not the best infotainment system on cars right now. But there are some things that Tesla software does or doesn't do that sort of irk me and make me crazy. For example, their lack of third-party streaming services is really annoying. The built-in text message support is severely lacking. There's no virtual assistant. There's no third-party map solutions. It would just be nice to have some alternatives with maps and media options, and just be nice to have more options. Now, before we continue with more on the Tesla App Store, I want to take a quick break and tell you guys about this awesome shirt, or more specifically, the makers of this awesome shirt, and that, of course, is this video's sponsor, Into the AM. Now, if you're a regular on this channel, you know that I love Into the AM because they've been making ultra comfortable and premium clothing since 2012, over 10 years. And Into the AM has got you covered with a wide variety of apparel. If you are a fan of graphic tees, Into the AM has got some great stuff, some beautiful designs, some really colorful, vibrant ink, great fit. And also, if you're a fan of something a little bit more basic, their basic tees, they're subtle, they have a great fit, they look really nice. I love their basic tees. And also something here that's new is their all over print collection. This is some apparel with some beautiful prints all over the apparel. For example, this is the Infinite Matter tee that is this beautiful sort of cosmic, spacey theme. It's got this great mix of, I've got some stars here, some sort of lighter blues, some sort of darker grays, some sort of dark blues. I love the look of this shirt. Love the fit of it as well. I'm a little bit picky on my shirts, and I love this one. I love this new all over print collection from Into the AM, and this is the Infinite Matter tee. Of course, I will leave a link down below. Love this stuff here, and I love the all over print collection. Also, Into the AM has got some great deals going on right now as well, like 3 graphic tees for $60, 3 basic tees for $45, and for a limited time from now until April 11th, they've got their basic and essential tees on sale for up to 30% off. So if you guys want to check out all the wonderful, beautiful, great fitting apparel that Into the AM has to offer, I love all the Into the AM stuff. Trust me, you're going to love it as well. Just click the link right down below to learn more, or head to intotheam.com/Robert10 and use my special coupon code at checkout, Robert10, to get 10% off your order. Again, that is intotheam.com/Robert10, and use my coupon code Robert10 to get 10% off your order. Of course, that link is right down below. Just imagine for a moment being able to download third-party music apps, movie apps. Maybe you could swap out the built-in Google Maps for Waze, or you could have built-in ride-sharing tools if you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, like built and integrated right into the screen, right into the map. I'm just scratching the surface of what these apps could do because I'm sort of dumb and I'm not a developer and I don't know what they could do, but just trust me here, there's a lot they could do. And I think this would really be a great way to give owners access to so many of the hotly requested features that they want in their Teslas without really Tesla having to do the work. App developers could do the work, they could fix these shortcomings, and Tesla could sort of sit back, run the App Store system, and let third-party developers do the work to make their software and their systems better. Also, there's some people out there, to be quite honest, who are doing things better than Tesla is doing things themselves, and they're fixing a lot of issues. I've seen a number of concepts online fixing a lot of the weird version 11 quirks and issues and implementing some things that Tesla should do, and they look great, but Tesla is probably never going to do it, so why not let developers do it? I'm not sure if all these could be implemented without sort of Tesla giving up a lot of control, and I'm not sure how they would sort of do this with developers, but I do think that an App Store would be a great way for developers to sort of take some of the burden and to give users more things. That if you want a Pandora app, you want an Audible app, you want an Apple Music app, you want a YouTube Music app, whatever the case may be, Tesla doesn't have to build it. They just got to build the app stores, and these companies, they can build the apps themselves, and Tesla can sort of reap the rewards and the benefits of this amazing app ecosystem and the features without having to do it themselves. It's sort of the same way that it works on computers and on phones. Apple doesn't have to build millions and millions of apps, but they get the benefit of having all these apps available on their devices. Same thing for Tesla. The second reason an app store makes so much sense is strictly a business reason, and that is that Tesla could make some easy money off of this. Well, relatively easy money. And if they take a very common approach here, like the app store models on iOS and Android, and they take a 20 or 30% cut of the earnings off the top, they stand to make potentially a significant amount of money. Now, Tesla does not have the user base of iOS or Android, but still, I think that there are a lot of people owning these cars and driving these cars, and there is enough enthusiasm there from owners and developers to develop apps for these cars. I think that there is a significant amount of money on the table here that Tesla could make simply by having this app store exist and taking a cut of the sale price of these apps. I also think that unlike iOS and Android, Tesla reaches, by default, a clientele that is probably okay spending $5 or $10 on a regular basis on a good app. I'm not saying there shouldn't be some free apps or some 99-cent apps, but I think that customers are willing to spend 10, 20, 30 bucks if a developer can give you sort of a Waze map, for example, or there's a really good app. I think the Tesla clientele is more inclined to spend money, and therefore maybe there's less apps, but the money Tesla could make off each individual app purchase could be more. If these apps are 10, 15, 20 bucks, I don't think that's outrageous for the functionality they could give you built right inside seamlessly to the Tesla software. Sort of get what I'm saying here? And yes, obviously Tesla would need to devote some resources behind the scenes to make this work. They would need to have developers, relations, they need to have an API, they need stuff like that to sort of keep the apps ecosystem up and running. But I do think that there's a good chance that not only is Tesla already doing this, but that they could do this and still turn a profit. It's just sort of money on the table for them that, yes, they'd have to devote some developer relations people and they'd have to develop the API and the system and stuff like that. But I think doing that could stand to make Tesla some good money. They've already started to experiment with subscription models with FSD and Tesla Insurance and other things like that. I do think that there is a good business case to be made that Tesla could make some big money by just setting up the App Store, sitting back, relatively speaking, and collecting some money from the earnings. It sounds crazy, but I don't think it's crazy at all. The third reason an app store on Tesla makes so much sense is that it can unlock some really useful features and do things our phone apps just can't do. For example, these apps could have live data coming from the car, telemetry, distance, speed, knowing where you were going, the state of charge of the battery, stuff like that. Like imagine, for example, being able to place a fast food order and it automatically being sent to the restaurant based on when you were going to arrive. So not only did you not have to wait in line and wait around for it to get made, but when you arrived, it would be ready, it'd be hot, it would be ready to go. That's something that an app on your phone could do But an app that's built in your car and tied into distance and speed and all this stuff and knew where you were and where you're going, it could do so much better in a sense. I'm not a developer. I don't know how this stuff works, but it does make sense to me in my mind as I sort of think about it and talk about it. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys as well. There's a lot here these apps could do with sort of a hook into the deep Tesla system that allow them to do some really cool things that you just couldn't do with a CarPlay or Android Auto app running on your phone or sort of beside your Tesla screen, just sort of independently on your phone. And reason number 4 is similar to sort of number 1 and what I touched on earlier, but I think it's worth reemphasizing, and that is an app store would sort of take the pressure off of Tesla, off of their engineers and their staff to add a lot of these big features all the time. They're always supposed to, at least that's the assumption in the community, they're supposed to be bringing big updates and working on the next big thing and new features and new UI implementations and overhauls and all of that in addition to adding third-party apps. By opening up this app store, Tesla could focus on what they needed to, improving the core system, safety, security, reliability. They could focus on FSD, for example, and all the sort of like user level stuff, like I want a music app or I want a maps app or a game. They could allow third parties to do that and not have to do it at all. And like I mentioned in the intro, Tesla is rumored to be working on this. They've been rumored to be working on it for a while, and maybe we could see it sometime this year. We don't have a firm launch date. There's not even a rumor of a launch date, but I do think as Tesla sort of tends to work quickly, and they've been working on this for a while, I think an app store makes so much sense to launch this year and really needs to launch this year if Tesla wants to remain competitive with the other EVs and other infotainment systems being launched in all cars, especially since it's lacking Android Auto or CarPlay. That just needs to come ASAP. Now, of course, I do think that it is worth talking about the potential drawbacks an app store system could have, and one of the first ones here is that yes, there is an inherent security risk. Opening up this system at all, big or small, could lead to some kind of potential security issue. I'm sure Tesla knows what they're doing, and I'm sure they know how to do this right. They could limit the APK access and stuff like that. They could sort of manually approve apps. But there is, of course, just an inherent risk opening this system at all. And there has been a lot of security concerns about Teslas and hacking and someone getting access to the car. The other issue critics are quick to point out here is the resources that Tesla would have to provide to make this work. Now, I'm not sure it would be that crazy to make this happen, but yes, again, they need to dedicate engineers. They need to, fund this project, App Store, APK, stuff like that. They need people to review apps, the old developer relations, stuff like that. There would be some costs and some resources devoted to this, either taken from somewhere else or new hires. There would be some resources Tesla would need to provide to this, and I'm sure many investors and critics would say, is this the best use of Tesla's time, money, resources, or could they be working on something else? Just something that we've got to talk about. And probably the biggest criticism of all, or I guess maybe the biggest, not necessarily downside, but the biggest question we've got to ask is why go through all this trouble? Why doesn't Tesla just implement CarPlay or implement Android Auto? They get all the third-party apps and get all this access and they just call it a day. Why doesn't Tesla just make things easier and just go that route? Well, why build a whole app store for developers to develop for and not just do this? Well, I'm going to go more in depth on this in another video, in a future video, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see that coming soon. But for now, I'll say this. I think that this would give Tesla a unique advantage over all other automakers. People would want to really develop apps for Teslas. Tesla has a very enthusiastic owner base, a very enthusiastic community, and I think if anybody can make apps available for their car and get people to develop for it, it would be Tesla. And I think Tesla native apps would work much better than Android Auto or CarPlay apps. They'd allow for more customization. They'd have those better hook-in and tie-ins with the Tesla system. And overall, they would lead to a better experience. If you have CarPlay or Android Auto on there, it's fine, but it's just sort of running in a window. These apps could essentially natively sort of tie into the actual Tesla system. They could seem like native apps, and I think that they would just run and function so much better. And again, Tesla's got essentially the resources and they've got the enthusiasm in the community to make this happen. And I think that if Tesla does open an app store and they allow developers to do this, we could see some really incredible apps that unlock a ton of new features that we've never seen before. But as always, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on a Tesla app store? Does it make sense? Does it make logical sense for Tesla to make an app store and allow developers to develop apps and have these third-party apps that sort of work in your Tesla natively? Or do you think Tesla should focus on Android Auto or CarPlay? They should just go that route and not go through this whole, hubbub and just make things easier. Or do you think Teslas don't need third-party apps and it's fine the way it is? Let me know your thoughts on this down below. I know we've discussed this before. It's a little bit of a controversial take here, but I think an App Store makes so much sense, and I hope we see it sooner than later. What are your thoughts on all this, guys? Let me know your thoughts down below on what a Tesla App Store could do, what it couldn't do, what apps you'd want to see. Let me know all that down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.